Now we'll learn basic operations and expressions in Python. Operations and expressions usually go hand in hand, but we're going to start by understanding the meaning of operations. When we talk about operations, we're talking about computation. We're talking about actions that will perform between two or more values. For instance, when you add two values together, you are performing an operation. When you compare values, you are performing an operation. And for you to perform an operation, we use what we call operators. So what are operators? An operator is a symbol or keyword that tells Python to perform a specific operation on one or more values. And these values are called operands. For instance, if you add two numbers together, or better still, for you to add two numbers together, what you need to do is to provide the first number, which is called an operand, put a plus symbol. That plus symbol is called an operator, and then provide the second number, which is also an operand. And this forms what we call an expression. So an expression is a combination of values, operators, or variables. Just like we have mathematical expressions, 2 plus 2 or x plus y, we have similar thing in programming. So now let's look at the different types of operators. We'll have arithmetic operators, which we use for arithmetic purposes. We'll have assignment operators. We'll have comparison or relational operators. We have membership operators, identity operators, logical operators, and finally, we have the bitwise operators. We're going to be starting with the arithmetic operators. Arithmetic operators are those symbols we use for math-related operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and so on. So now we're going to be listing out the different operators we use for arithmetics. We're going to start with the first one, addition. To perform addition, we use the plus symbol. Then we have subtraction, and for this we use the minus sign. Then we have multiplication. Multiplication, we don't use x, we use asterisk. This symbol represents multiplication. And for division, we have two types of division. We have the true division and the integer division. So we have true division. And for the true division, we use the forward slash. Then we have the integer division. And for this type of division, we use double forward slash. We have another operator which we call the modulo or modulus. And for this, we use the percentage sign. Then we have the exponentiation. And for exponentiation, we use double asterisk. So let's go ahead and give some examples. For addition, we use the plus symbol to represent addition. So let's have this variable result is equal to, I'm going to be providing two values. So I have 5, which is an operand. We'll put the plus symbol, which is an operator for addition, and we'll provide the second operand. Let's go ahead and print the result. And the output is going to be 5 plus 3, which is 8. I can go ahead and include more values. I can have plus 1, I can have plus 100. It is going to sum up all these values. And now let's run it. And the output is 109. So this is an expression. An expression is a combination of values, variables, and operators. And in this case, we only have values and operators. So let's give another example, but this time around, we're going to be making use of variables. And we'll start by having num1 to be equal to, let's have it as 10. And we'll have num2, and for num2, let's call it 20. And for these results, we want to sum num1 and num2. So we're going to have num1 plus num2. And this is also an expression. And we'll go ahead and run the program, and the sum is 30. So this is how we perform addition using the plus symbol. Now let's look at subtraction. For the subtraction, we use the minus sign or hyphen. And in the same vein, we're going to be making use of num1 and num2. So for our result, we're going to have result is equal to num2 minus num1. This is going to give us 20 minus 10, which should be 10. So we have print results, and the outcome is 10. So this is how we perform subtraction. Now let's look at multiplication. And for this, we use the asterisk symbol, and we'll have result is equal to num1 multiplied by num2. Let's print it out. This is going to give us 10 times 20, which is 200, and this is the outcome. Now let's look at division. And like I said before, we have two types of division. We have the true division and the integer division. So when you want to perform an actual division, you use the true division. That is a single forward slash. So let's demonstrate this. We have division, and this one is true division. So let's have result is equal to num2 divided by num1. And one thing you have to keep in mind is that whenever you are performing a true division, you always get a float. 20 divided by 10 is meant to be 2. But because we are performing a true division, we are going to get a float value. And from the output here, you can see that we have 2.0. So let's go ahead and try something else. Let me remove this num1 and put 5. And this is going to be 20 divided by 5. So let's see the outcome. And we have 4.0. So let's divide it by 6. And we'll run the program. We have 3.3333. So this is for true division. Now let's look at the integer division. And for the integer division, we use double forward slash. And the outcome is always an integer, which means if you have a float value, it is going to strip off those decimal points. So let's have result is equal to 4 divided by 2. Of course, this is meant to be 2. So let's print it out, and we'll run it, and the outcome is 2, which is correct. But let's try this out with 4 divided by 3. And let's run the program. We have 1, which is wrong. Okay, let's remove this second slash and run the program again. And what we have is 1.33333. So what happens when you do an integer division is that it is going to remove the decimal point and every other number that comes after the decimal point. It doesn't perform approximation. It simply returns the integer part of the value, which in this case is 1. So let's revert back to integer division, and we have 4 divided by 3 is going to give us 1, which is an integer value. So this is for integer division. Next, we're going to look at modulo. And this simply means remainder. So let's try it out. And for this, we have result is equal to 4. And let me put a modulo operator and put 3. And we'll go ahead and print the result. So let's run it. And here we have 1. So what happens is that 4 divided by 3 is going to give us 1 remainder 1. That remainder is the modulo. So let's try this out with 7. 7 divided by 3 is 2 remainder 1. That remainder is the modulo. And in this case, we have 1. And let's change this to 8 so that we can have a remainder of 2. And now you can see that the value is 2. So modulo operator is used to get the remainder of division between two values. Then finally, let's look at exponentiation. Exponentiation is something as raised to power. And we have result is equal to 2 raised to power 2. This is 2 times 2. If I have 2 raised to power 3, it means 2 times 2 times 2. So let's print out the result. And we have 2 times 2 is going to be 4. Let's change this to 5. This means 2 times 2 into 5 times. And this is going to give us 32. So this is for the exponentiation. So far, we've looked at operators for addition, which is plus sign. We looked at subtraction, which we use hyphen or the minus sign. Division is asterisk. True division is forward slash. Integer division is double forward slash. Modulo is percentage sign, and exponentiation we use double asterisk. Now let's look at comparison or relational operators.